Hi, and welcome to another Arts District Boston live interview Thursdays. Before we start today, the artist did request I issue a trigger warning just because of some of the topics we're going to be discussing today in our interview. Today we have a very special guest who has used art as a tool to overcome obstacles from a young age and now uses art to help others. Please welcome fiber artist Hannah Nesbitt. She's joining us.
Hi.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to see your face and meet you.
Yours too, hon. How are you?
Good. So you're a Boston artist,
Mm-hmm.
and have you always lived in Boston?
Oh yeah, same house, 30 years.
No way. That's
Yes, what?
impressive.
Totally. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your artwork and maybe show us some of it if you have it around you?
Sure. Yeah. So my artwork, it's about trauma, redemption, hope. I make sculptural wedding dresses. I do functional apparel, quilts, wall paintings, tapestries, bags, fashion illustrations. I do a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it, and art is literally everything to me. I just love art. So yeah, yeah.
No. And can I just say your dresses are so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I would love to see your textile wall pieces in person. They just look so dimensional, so much
Yeah.
going on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They are.
You can tell a lot of work goes into them, you know. You
Yeah.
really spend your time. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. And why do you like working with textiles specifically?
That's a very good question. Okay, so I just love the warp and the weft of fabric. Like the warp and the weft in fabric, right? You
Hmm.
have like the two crossing over and the weaving. And fabric just really understands me for some really weird reason. I just love fabric. It's like the finishes, just all of it. It's just like, oh, take me there. I no, seriously, like I love fabric. I breathe it, I eat it, I sleep it. I have like a whole wall of fabric over there, and then I have fabric in my basement, and I organize it by color. And so my mom's sick and tired of me and my fabric love, but I just love fabric and
Okay,
textiles and
that's
just all of
awesome.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And it's probably really fun to work with because you can do so many different things with it. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
What motivates you to create? What's like your driving force behind your artwork?
Ooh, my driving force would be empathy, connecting with people. I love to read. I'm a big reader. I arguably read a little too much, but I read a
Too
lot. I
much?
really do. And I love it. And so my driving force would be empathy, connecting with people, and sitting with people in their mess and expressing myself through art, really.
Yeah, I know you do a lot of art for a good cause. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the projects you've done?
Yeah, so I did a project in South Africa with Hope for the Ministry where I basically quilted 16 mom and baby blankets for moms and babies there in Cape Town. And so they have no heating system in South Africa, which is very appalling.
Yeah.
Their winter is pretty cold, surprisingly, and
Yeah.
especially given that there's no heating system. So I really it was a great project to do.
Mhm.
Completely connecting with the women, seeing their babies and whatnot. It was a touching project. Yeah,
And did you travel to Cape Town to do this project?
yeah, I did. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Cool. Is
it was so good.
Cape Town like a significant place for you, or did you just kind of hear about their struggles and wanna step in and help?
Well, it's a significant place because I did prison ministry there. And so I went to a prison and we did like restorative justice programming with my church. And it was just amazing. Meeting the guys, a lot of them were in for rape, murder,
Oh,
theft. that was a lot, right?
Yeah.
But
I
then you
mean,
get to see like humanity and you get to see their humanness. And it was pretty awesome. You know, I told my story of trauma. I told my story on my birthday. And then I had a birthday celebration with the guys, and it was pretty good. Yeah.
would you like to share maybe some of your story here and how art kind of helped you through that?
Sure. So I was assaulted when I was 19, and art was just very special to me, and how to it you know, I was already into art since childhood, but
Mhm.
especially being assaulted, I kind of gravitated towards textiles from that point, and not just towards painting. So textiles were just that thing, like crawling up inside of a blanket. Then I started to quilt and learn how to make blankets. So it was
Wow,
really like a full circle kind of a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
that's really powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Um, sorry. Um, do you have any projects coming up in the future that you want to maybe
Oh,
share about?
yeah. So I'm making tote bags for moms and babies at Boston Center for Pregnancy Choices in Boston. So I'm
Hmm.
pretty excited about that project. It's gonna be good. Yeah. Yeah.
Good, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I
And
might even do a project with Boston Area Rape Crisis Center.
mhm.
So I'm thinking of making blankets, trauma blankets for survivors who go to the hospital to report. So I'm just gonna contact them and figure it out. But I'm excited.
Yeah, so you were telling me before you had a lot of role models that were artists and art therapists growing up. And
Mhm.
how has your art kind of evolved from like how did you find your voice in art and decide that, yes, I'm going to make these beautiful dresses, I'm going to make these textiles?
Ooh, good question. How did my art evolve? I'm sure it has evolved in some sense. Uh, I think my art hasn't evolved in a sense. Like, I mean, it's grown, but I'm still really very much the same person with the same strongly opinionated self. And my art
Awesome.
has always been like very large scale and boisterous and just out there and unapologetic and beautiful. And so I don't know that it's like severely changed, if anything. But
That's
I have to
amazing.
say that my technical skill has grown, which is great, right? But
Yeah,
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 absolutely. I definitely like making huge art too. It's
yeah,
Yeah, I saw one of your pieces goes all the way to the ceiling, and it's just so awesome.
yeah. It's 12 feet
Especially,
high. Yeah,
hmm yeah,
yeah,
and having people wear your art and walk around in it kind of empowers other people too.
yeah, yeah.
And I think it's really cool that you use art to help others. Is there some like reason for that, or are you
Is there
just
somewhat?
is there some reason you're so passionate about helping others, or
I think it's really what I've lived through, which was basically just trauma, right? And my love for empathy and the need for empathy in this really harsh world at times. So I think that's the driving force behind all of that. It's really just empathy.
great. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And do you have any other artists, maybe some textile artists that inspired you and you look up to?
Oh God, I have so many. I made a list of it. I have Alberto Burry. I
Hmm.
have Shelly Nairo. She's a Native American artist. She is just so fabulous and lovely and just fierce. Um, yeah, and she did like this project, Mohawks and Beehives, and it's just beautiful photo project basically.
Oh,
I love who else do I love? I love Thornton Dial Sr. He was an Alabama artist, African American man. He did like these really large scale sculptures and paintings, and he just really like he's better than Picasso. Let's be real.
wow.
Like he is just so good.
Oh my
His
gosh.
work is amazing.
I feel
And
like I'm gonna have to ask you to send me this list later
yeah, it's a
so I can
hefty
look them
list.
up.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, and then I love the G's Ben coaches of Alabama. They are just so awesome.
Mhm.
I met two of them, and yeah, they're amazing.
I can definitely see how sculpture and quilting has influenced your work. How has kind of photography, I know you take some beautiful pictures of your artwork, but what does that like translate to when you're inspired by that?
Photography, what does it translate to? Uh,
Like
well, honestly, those pictures
composition.
I didn't take. I had a photographer take them, but I do take photographs and whatnot. I just don't post them that much.
Oh, cool.
But I
Nice.
love photography, especially like portraiture. What's it translate to, photography? I think with photography, it's almost like just capturing what is and accepting that, right?
Hmm.
You can manipulate a
Yeah.
photo, but I think personally that's a little trashy. So I like the real deal kind of thing, like that photo. Touch it, like the real thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I like. Yeah,
Great.
that's what it translates to for me, like honesty.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's raw.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's raw. And, a lot of the subjects you work with are kind of raw too, and you go in and make it better, help out.
yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Um, and, what are you doing anything for your next project now, the tote bag project?
Ooh, I have some like ideas swirling about that, but I'm not like actively working on it right now.
Okay.
Right now I'm just working, finishing up my fashion design program.
Mm,
So that's what I'm up to right now, working on two
cool.
really sculptural wedding dresses, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. It's going to be good.
Yeah, they're the ones I saw are so beautiful. I don't even know how you made those. I was like
It was
staring at them,
hell.
trying to figure it out.
It was absolute hell. The pattern pieces were so huge just to get all of that fullness in there. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
bet.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Well, really great stuff, Hannah. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for talking to us
Of course.
and sharing so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say? And we can also open up the chat for any questions if anyone watching would like to ask a question and anything
Yeah.
else you want to say to wrap up.
Well, thank you for having me, darling. You look so fierce.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
definitely deserve the spotlight. And I
Thank
hope,
you.
once you do your next project, definitely get in touch with us. And I'd love to promote that too.
Thank you, hon. Yeah.
Cool.
Any
Great.
questions or? Oh,
Yeah, I think our audience is a little quiet. Sometimes they say the weirdest stuff to me.
really?
They'll just be asking questions every step of the way. But
Yeah.
today, I guess we have a quiet group.
It's
Well,
so
thank you so much,
quiet is
Hannah. It was
great.
so nice to meet you. Oh,
You
sorry,
too,
what?
hon. I said you
Okay.
too.
Have a, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Oh, how can we order a custom piece from her?
Ooh, just
Ooh.
DM me and I will hook you up
There
completely. Yes. Yes,
you go.
completely.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of want one of those dresses too. They're so
of
pretty.
course. Yeah, yeah, of course. I price my dresses about like 3 grand,
Yeah, I bet.
and my
It looks like so
tapestry,
much work.
yeah, my tapestries go from 2,000 upwards to like 13,000. So yeah,
Cool.
so yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. So get in touch with her if you want a piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Her
All
DMs are
right.
open. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
You too.